Excellent. So welcome along to this session on employability at University of Stirling. So we're going to be covering on this session a little bit about the job scene and the kind of jobs that are going to be available over the next few years, and how some of the degree programs that you can access via University of Stirling will help students get those jobs moving forward. So in a nutshell, many of you who would have been on our presentations before will be quite familiar with this proposition. We offer some of the lowest cost study plans in the UK, with degrees from our partner universities starting at £7,000 per year for international students, going all the way up the scales depending on which university you want to go to. We offer up access to 3 of the UK's best cities in Stirling, Edinburgh and Glasgow, all of which are within a close commute to each other. But today we're going to be focusing very much on the latter half of this proposition, the amazing local job prospects and the fantastic degrees that can enhance your employability. And all of these things combined add up to one incredible opportunity for you and your students. So let's have a deeper dive into some of the quality of education and focus on employability and what we do in order to get people into those jobs of the future. The next few slides will look at UK and global jobs trends and how Scottish universities can prepare you and your students for the jobs of the future. So we always like to highlight growing industries when we talk to our students, and one of those big growing industries at the moment is mobile applications. There are nearly 3 billion smartphone users in the world. There are 1.3 billion tablet users, as well as people using laptops where you can use apps as well. So mobile apps is a big industry. Apple alone employ 1.5 million people in Europe for app-related jobs. And the UK is Apple's leading app development hub. In actual fact, within Apple, jobs in app development grew by 10% in 2021. And the global digital advertising will increase to over 750 billion by the year 2026, with mobile in-app revenue accounting for 56% of that spend. So you can see there just how big an industry mobile apps are. So if your students are looking to get involved in this kind of work, if they're looking to take advantage of these growing job trends, we have a range of degrees that are available through University of Stirling that can help them get there. So for instance, we have a mobile app development module on the BSc Computing Science course here at University of Stirling. We also have degrees which focus on the other arms of mobile app development. So if you are studying our BA Business Studies course, if you've got a student who does not want to study computing science and is studying business instead, we have a range of modules on the business degrees. And these include things like delivering value in the digital age and digital and experiential marketing. Now, these modules will focus on the user experience and making mobile apps as customer friendly as they possibly can and as easy to use as they can possibly be. And this is going to be as equal value to mobile app developers as the technological side as well. So even if you've got a student who is not necessarily technologically minded, they can still get involved in app development. We also have the similar sort of thing at University of Strathclyde, one of our choice partners. They have mobile app development modules as part of their Bachelor of Computing Science. And we also have computer game application development at Abertay University in Dundee. So that is all about making computer games which are app focused. So everybody plays little games on their mobile phones. And if you study that degree at Abertay, then you can be in a prime position to be the one who creates those games moving forward. Data science is going to be a huge part of our lives moving forward as well. The Economist in 2017 declared that the world's most valuable resource is no longer oil, it's data. Britain is also facing an explosive demand for data science skills, according to the Royal Society. Demand for data scientists has tripled in the last 5 years. However, those same employers are reporting, or 65% of them at least are reporting, that they have found a lack of technical skills in AI and data science applicants. Now, what this means is that there are lots of jobs, but there are not the people to fill them. So if you come to University of Stirling and you study something like bachelor's in data science, if you study a master's degree in big data, or if you go to one of our partner universities and study something like data analytics or data science, you can be in a fantastic position to take those jobs. And obviously, where you have lots of jobs and very few skilled people to take them, that usually drives the salaries up. And that is also really good for students who are looking to stay in the UK and take advantage of their post-study work visa as well, because those highly skilled people will be in big demand by employers. We also have a big life sciences sector here in the UK, and graduate jobs in health and pharmaceuticals have increased in the UK by 24% since 2019. UK biotechnology jobs grew by 33% in 2021, and the UK life sciences vacancies hit a record high in 2021 as well. And according to the UK Bioindustry Association, UK life sciences are on the cusp of a golden age. So again, there's going to be lots of jobs generated within life sciences in the UK moving forward. Now, how do you get onto a life science-based job? Well, you can study one of our science-based degrees through our foundation in science, and that includes the bachelor's in applied biological sciences at University of Stirling, but it also includes a range of different types of science. So you can go to somewhere like University of Strathclyde or University of Dundee through the Choice Foundation and study pharmacology. You can study biomedical science at somewhere like University of Strathclyde or Edinburgh Napier, or you can study immunology as well. And these courses are fantastic backup plans for anybody that you've got that might be interested in medicine, but maybe is unsuccessful in their application. These are fantastic degrees leading to great careers that can still get them working within the medical field. We also have cybersecurity. So going back to technology, cybersecurity is something that a lot of employers are concerned about. Employers say that 37% of vacancies in the cyber sector are very hard to fill because, like with the data sciences and the artificial intelligence, candidates are lacking in the technical skills and technical knowledge. Now, cybersecurity is a massive concern. As we've seen, a lot of people are using mobile apps and computers for everything now. And UK firms have experienced a 62% increase in cyber threats since the year 2020, the last 2 years. 61% of business managers are worried about their business's ability to protect data, and 77% of businesses say that cybersecurity is a high priority. And this, again, will mean that lots of businesses are going to be generating jobs within cybersecurity. So we have a range of cybersecurity degrees that you can access via our Choice Foundation here into Stirling. We have courses at University of Stirling. So you have a cybersecurity module on the bachelor's in computing science. And we also have a new course, which is in software development and cybersecurity as well. We also have cybersecurity at the likes of Edinburgh Napier, and we also have things like ethical hacking at the University of Abertay, which is all about looking at hacking and how hackers break into your computer and steal your personal data. So these are going to be huge, huge job areas in the future, and students who are studying these degree programs will be at the front of the queue for this growing jobs industry. The world of business is obviously changing. According to the Scientific American, which is a magazine focusing on business, COVID has changed workplaces forever. 72% of workers want a hybrid office model where they work sometimes at home and sometimes in the office, but 82% of managers are concerned about the reduced productivity that this will bring. So this means that workplace relations between employers and employees is going to change forever. 71% of UK businesses are planning to adopt this flexible working model where people work from home and work in the office. So again, those relationships are going to be very, very important. And new freelance employment, such as Uber, Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Just Eat, all of these delivery companies are changing the way that employers work with their employees as well. So things are changing in the workplace. Now, if you study our business studies module here at University of Stirling, we have modules on things like contemporary employment relations, the fundamentals of management, we have strategic HR management, leadership and management, and managing change modules. Now, all of these modules, if studied, will equip our graduates to go into a business and help the managers and help the employers overcome these challenges that this new working environment is creating. And it will really help smooth those relations between employers and employees and make for a more prosperous company. So students that can go, or graduates that can go into an interview and say that they have knowledge of contemporary workplaces, they have knowledge of managing change, they have knowledge of strategic HR management, are going to be in big demand moving forward. COVID has also changed consumer habits as well within the world of business. So 36% of UK shoppers believe that the way that they buy things has changed forever post-COVID. Only 7% of millennials describe themselves as brand loyalists, which means companies and brands are having to work even harder to retain the custom that they are building up. 88% of consumers want to engage with brands that put a premium on corporate social responsibility as well. And 77% of consumers are motivated to buy from companies that are committed to making the world a better place. So now companies are not able to just sit back and sell their products. They have to be very socially conscious brands if they want to keep the buyers, keep the customers that they already have. Now, how do graduates help employers do this? Well, they come to places like University of Stirling and they study modules on responsible business, understanding consumers, behavioral economics, managing the consumer experience, sustainable marketing. They can also study modules on global environmental issues and multi-channel retail marketing as well. This combination of modules, if studied on a BA Business Studies degree, will really give our graduates the edge, because they can go into a company, perhaps a company that is struggling with their image, with their brand, and they can showcase how their customer base, their modern customer base, engage with them, and how they need to put a premium on things like environmental responsibility, on social responsibility, on ethical responsibility and ethical resourcing as well. So these modules are really going to put our students, our graduates, at the front of the queue. And we also have a few growth industries as well, such as esports. So esports viewership is going to grow to 650 million people by the year 2023, which is roughly the same number of people that watch the Summer Olympics. And esports revenue is due to grow to $2 billion by 2022 this year. So a student who is studying something like our business studies degree can study a module on the business of esports, and they can alert companies to the prosperity that involvement in esport through things like sponsorship and marketing can bring. And likewise, they can study things like computer games at Abate and get a grip and get a knowledge of this subject area as well. Sports marketing is another growth industry. It's due to grow to $89 billion by 2027. Sports sponsorship is due to grow globally by 71 billion by the year 2025. And even in the UK, we've seen the English Premier League sponsorship going up by around 7% in 2021. So students that come to Stirling and they study a business studies course can study sports branding modules if they want to get involved in sport. And we actually have a specific degree in sports business management as well. Students who maybe don't want to live in Stirling and maybe want to go to one of our partners can also benefit from studying something like our BA Business and Enterprise in Sport at Edinburgh Napier University as well. So lots of options for them to take advantage of these growing trends. I'll hand over to Michael now, who can tell us a little bit about the quality of Scottish job prospects.
Thank you, Craig. Craig, if you'd be kind enough just to flick through the slides as I'm talking to them, that'll be great as well. So the good news from your students' point of view and from any incoming students that we have is that there's never been a better time in terms of employability in Scotland. Our unemployment rate in Scotland is currently at a record low. Coming out of COVID, the unemployment rate is fantastically low. So there are lots of opportunities to be had. Employers are crying out for people with skills in the various sectors that Craig has already outlined. One illustration of this is when we look at visa sponsors by city across the UK, taking out London from the equation because London tends to skew everything within the UK. But you can see when you look at the number of visa sponsors for students post-study work visa, post-study work visa. You can see how the major cities in Scotland in terms of Edinburgh and Glasgow, Aberdeen, Dundee and Stirling all feature within that listing, which is fantastic in its own self. But when we consolidate these cities into a Scotland perspective and look at central Scotland, which takes in Dundee, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Stirling, you can see how we top the league table within the UK. Outside of London, how when you look at the commutable cities within reach of Stirling, Scotland comes out on top, marginally above the northwest of England. So when students come to Stirling, they'll position themselves very well in terms of those opportunities for international workers and for those opportunities that exist for visa sponsorship within central Scotland. Stirling offers an attractive option to commuters travelling to Edinburgh and Glasgow for work. So for those thinking of a future career, Stirling's a great place to be geographically, right in the heart of Scotland, commutable to both Edinburgh with about a 40-minute train ride from Stirling. Glasgow is less than 30 minutes away by train, and Dundee is only maybe about an hour of the train track as well. So employment opportunities within all of those sectors that Craig outlined in the opening section of the presentation are really, really high and really attractive for students. One of the things that Scotland is also leading the way in is that we are outpacing the UK and Europe for foreign investment. And that's very much obviously linked to jobs growth. So the main sectors of interest are digital technology and business services. And again, Craig's already outlined how a number of our degrees will prepare students to enter those particular sectors. And cities such as Edinburgh and Glasgow, which, as we've already mentioned, are very close to Stirling, are amongst the UK's biggest recipients of that foreign investment. So lots of opportunities to be had, not just within Stirling, but within Glasgow, Edinburgh, and the Central Belt in general. More overseas businesses are choosing Scotland than any other non-London location, or more overseas businesses chose Scotland in 2020. And that's clearly another thing that's driving jobs growth here in Scotland for us. The Scottish economy, according to PricewaterhouseCoopers, is now bigger than it was pre-COVID. And again, that all links to jobs growth as well. And the fantastic thing is that Edinburgh is rated now as the city least impacted by COVID in the UK. Avison Young, a global real estate services firm, have predicted record employment and economic growth for both Glasgow and Edinburgh in this current year of 2022. So lots, again, just reiterating the point that there's fantastic opportunities for students moving forward within the Central Belt here in Scotland. And in April 2022, just a few months ago, the number of job postings was 82% higher than pre-pandemic levels. So Scotland has seen a higher percentage increase in job postings over the past year, 88%, compared with the UK overall average of 40%. And these figures come from Skills Development Scotland. So hopefully this last section that I presented really illustrates really well to you the number of opportunities that exist for students graduating either from ourselves in Scotland or Stirling, or from one of our choice partners across the rest of Scotland as well. Again, just to break this down a little bit more, we're going to talk a little bit by sector, and some of those sectors that I mentioned previously in terms of what's driving the growth within opportunities in Scotland come on to areas like technology and digital, and also business services. So I'll pass you back to Craig, and he can talk you through some of the opportunities that exist within the digital and technology fields.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. So digital and technology is due to be Scotland's biggest growing sector by 2024. So lots of growth driven by that inward foreign investment that we were talking about earlier. It really is an exciting time to be in Scotland and to be studying at a university for a technology-based degree, because the job prospects are going to be growing in the next few years. We've already seen a 25% increase in digital jobs in Scotland during the year of 2021. 28 to 30% of vacancies in Edinburgh and Glasgow are digital based, which is higher than the UK average. And Glasgow and Edinburgh are the number 2 and number 3 technology hubs in the UK after London. So as you can see there already, our technology sector and our job sector here in Scotland within technology is thriving. So if you've got a student who is looking for that technology job following their technology-based degree, Scotland is a great place to be. We've already had 7,500 planned real living wage digital jobs created by these investment projects in Scotland over the course of 21-22, which is great to see that inward foreign investment actually paying off. Edinburgh is a top 5 UK city for attracting digital investment, and a lot of that investment is going into making Edinburgh the data capital of Europe. So it's going to be one of the big hubs for technology, particular data capital of Europe, for companies looking for data management, artificial intelligence, and data sciences. The Scottish Government has a new artificial intelligence strategy, so that is going to be boosting jobs within the world of artificial intelligence moving forward. And we've already seen big companies such as JP Morgan and Barclays investing in technology and data sciences in Glasgow. So all of this investment is actually beginning to pay off, and it's beginning to generate those jobs. Scotland also has a financial technology roadmap to create 20,000 new financial technology jobs in Scotland by 2031. And just as we've seen with data sciences and artificial intelligence, a big skills shortage is being reported by companies looking for financial technology workers. So students that come to Scotland come to somewhere like Stirling and they study their masters in fintech, financial technology, or they study their bachelor's in digital banking or something along those lines, they will be in a great position to take advantage of these 20,000 new jobs that are going to be coming up in Scotland within the next decade. Employment in Scottish video games has also grown. The industry grew by 26% between April 2020 and December 2021. So again, lots of employment that is being brought about in the technology sector, the video game sector. And in order to take advantage of these growing jobs, you can study at Stirling for your technology career. As we showcased earlier, we have bachelors in computing science, we have bachelors in software engineering and bachelors in data science, all of which will help you take advantage of those growing job trends that we spoke about earlier. We also have master's degrees in financial technology, which I think is going to be the big one over the next decade or so. Likewise with big data and artificial intelligence, Scotland has a growing sector in all of these subject areas. So by studying your degree at Stirling, you put yourself at the front of the queue for these new jobs, both in terms of your skill set, but also in terms of your geographical location as well. For students who maybe don't want to study at Stirling, they want to go somewhere else and study something a little bit more niche. As we said earlier, we have the ethical hacking degree at Abertay. We also have the digital media and interaction design at Edinburgh Napier. And we also have the web and mobile app development at the University of West Scotland as well. So let's have a quick look at the business services sector. I'll hand over to Michael for this one, and he can tell you a little bit about what's happening in Scotland in the world of business.
Thanks, Craig. I'll just unmute myself, which I usually forget to do, but I think I've managed to successfully do so now. So yeah, looking at business services within Scotland, again, the business service and finance sector employs almost 250,000 people in Scotland. So lots of opportunities there. A lot of that employment, as we have previously mentioned with the digital side of things, is focused very much concentrated within Edinburgh and Glasgow. Business and finance exports grew 2.1% in 2021. And we have one example of the benefits of that at foreign investment in Scotland. An additional 7,500 tech-related jobs were created last year. Now, as Craig's already pointed out, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're all computing scientists or data scientists. There are huge business opportunities arising from those tech-related jobs as well. Edinburgh is a fantastic centre for finance. So anyone studying, for example, accounting or finance at Stirling, or one of our partner opportunities, or one of our partner universities rather, has wonderful opportunities within Edinburgh. 1 in 10 people in Edinburgh work in finance. That's the highest ratio in the UK. 1 in 13 people in Glasgow work in finance-related fields. Edinburgh is the second biggest financial hub in the UK, second again only to London, and the fourth biggest in Europe. So you can see by how Edinburgh is rated as 22nd in the world for competitive in finance, that it's a fantastic opportunity for students wanting to pursue careers in those areas. Edinburgh and Glasgow featuring in the UK top 10 towns and cities for finance-related salaries. So not only will students have the opportunities to develop their skills, but they'll also be earning significantly while they're doing that. And Edinburgh is considered by CMC Markets and the Office for National Statistics as the best place in the UK outside of London for a career in finance. Glasgow, just across the country from Edinburgh, is the sixth best place in the UK outside of London for a career in finance as well. So again, just reinforcing the fact that those opportunities are there to be seized by students graduating from our Scottish universities. Again, some other stats: Edinburgh is the best city outside London in which to do business, according to Management Today magazine. Edinburgh is the #1 city for high growth businesses outside of London. And Edinburgh is the top city in the UK outside of London to launch a business. So for students who are wanting to kind of be entrepreneurial and set up their own businesses, no better place in the UK than Edinburgh to do so outside of London. Looking at Glasgow, Glasgow is also very much a city for business. It's the UK's best city for small businesses, meaning it's a real hub for innovation and business startups. You can see again some of the stats that are on the slide. Small businesses in Glasgow increased by 49% between 2016 and 2021. And again, Edinburgh and Glasgow are in the UK top 10 cities for professional services salaries as well. So students will be earning a good wage while they're developing their career prospects here in Scotland. Scotland's creative sector is also something that cannot be ignored. Our creative industries grew by 3.5% in 2021, with exports growing by 9.5%. The image that you see in your slide isn't from New York homecoming for astronauts. It's actually from a film set that was constructed in Glasgow to represent a New York homecoming for astronauts. So lots of the film industry is using Glasgow as a hub, as a location, because of the fantastic facilities that we have, but principally because of the fantastic talent that we now have at our disposal as well. Scotland's also a video games hub, with jobs in video games increasing by 17% in 2020. And there's a feature on the local news, the BBC Scotland News this week, celebrating the anniversary of Grand Theft Auto, which you may be familiar with, probably the biggest selling computer game in history. And that was very much born here in Scotland, born in Dundee, and that spirit of entrepreneurship continues within the computer game sector right here in Scotland. And how can our degrees help you with that? So again, looking at the business services, we have degrees here at Stirling in business studies, accounting and finance, marketing, human resource management at undergraduate level. And again, just some examples of the postgraduate degrees that can feed in to that business services opportunities that you see in terms of our MSc in management, our MSc in international business, and again, for those who want to pursue a career in the finance sector, our MSc finance and investment as well. And again, other degrees with our choice partners, BA Business Studies at the likes of Queen Margaret University, which represents a fantastic low-cost degree opportunity for students, as well as areas like GCU for international fashion branding, business with entrepreneurship at Edinburgh Napier, and BA Financial Services at Edinburgh Napier as well. So whether it's with ourselves here at Stirling or with one of our choice partners, the degrees that students will study will very much equip them with the skills and knowledge that will enable them to be a success in those sectors that we've already mentioned. So I'm going to pass back now to Craig, and they'll take you through a little bit of a tour of Scotland in terms of the opportunities that exist in our cities, starting with Stirling.
Excellent. Thank you, Michael. So as we said earlier, our location here at Stirling is one of our big selling points. We are very close to Edinburgh and close to Glasgow. So we're very close to these thriving jobs hubs post-graduation. So let's have a look at Stirling. Now, Stirling has a city deal with the Scottish and UK government to unlock £640 million worth of investment and to create 5,000 new jobs within technology and also environmental sciences. So if you've got a student that's looking for those sectors, University of Stirling is a great place to be in terms of upskilling, but also geographically to take advantage of these growing jobs trends. We also have Edinburgh, which is 40 minutes away by train. It is deemed to be by Debut and Office of National Statistics to be the 5th best city in the UK for graduates. It's also one of the most productive cities in the UK as well, which is one of the reasons why it's such a great place to do business, because they are generating quite a lot of output. Edinburgh also has the lowest unemployment of any UK major city. And it has the highest hourly wage in the UK, and it prides itself on being a living wage city, which means people are not just earning enough to survive, they are actually earning enough to have a decent lifestyle. Edinburgh is Europe's #2 mid-sized city of the future, according to the Financial Times. And as Michael said earlier, it is the city in the UK that has been least impacted by COVID. So that's great to see as well. And that's going to help us in terms of job prospects once the students graduate. Edinburgh is second in the world for quality of life, according to a Deutsche Bank survey, which was in 2017. And it's not just Deutsche Bank, comparethemarket.com, which is one of our big financial comparison websites here in the UK, have the Edinburgh as the best city for young adults to live. And ECA and Frank Wellbeing Indexes, who measure kind of the well-being of cities, have Edinburgh in their top 20 most livable cities in the world. Impressively, Edinburgh is actually the happiest place in the UK to work, according to Smart Survey. Let's have a look at Glasgow as well. Glasgow has a city strategy to create 50,000 new jobs by the year 2023. So again, being based for your studies in Stirling allows you to take advantage of being close to a city which has big jobs growth planned. It has the fastest growing major city economy in the UK. So again, with fast growing economies come jobs generation. Glasgow is the UK's best city for graduates, according to CV Library back in 2019, and it has the highest graduate salary as well. So those students looking for those great graduate jobs, great place to be in Stirling, because you are very, very close to Glasgow where you can find these jobs. Glasgow is also a top 10 most affordable city for graduates, according to Prospects. So those students can earn the salaries that they would possibly get in London, but not have the living costs associated with places like London, Manchester, Birmingham, those really big cities as well. So that's something to bear in mind if you've got students looking for those graduate job prospects. Glasgow is Europe's #1 large city of the future, according to the Financial Times. So we'll talk a little bit about the employability services here at University of Stirling as well, because we've showcased the kind of jobs on offer, and we've showcased the kind of degrees that students can get and the kind of modules they can get. But let's have a look at some of the employability services that are offered here at University of Stirling. So one of the big rankings that we have on employability is that we have 5 QS stars for employability. So this is kind of QS's highest accolades, their star system, and we rank very, very highly for our employability services. We have the employability team here who are ranked as the #5 career service in the UK and #15 in the world, according to the International Student Barometer back in 2018. They offer a range of free services, such as one-to-one advice on careers. They offer advice on resume writing, job application. So if a student finds a job that they really want and they want help to write their application, our team can help. They also have access to video interviewing software, so they can have a practice interview before they actually go in for the real thing. And they also have LinkedIn classes as well, so how to write a really good LinkedIn profile that is going to get you noticed by employers who are looking for skilled people. So that really adds value to what they're getting on top of their tuition fees. The career service have also added 300 pages worth of careers related content at our website, which is available for our students to access. And they also have access to free courses such as the Flying Start Leadership Program, which covers a range of the softer skills that all employers look for. And that includes cultural intelligence, personal development plans, professional presentations, and decision making. So all of these things are going to be looked for by all employers all over the world. We have a similar program for postgraduates called Postgraduate Plus, which kind of takes into account leadership and management, running effective meetings, and assertiveness and confidence, which again is going to really help our graduates in the workplace deal with all of the challenges that are faced by the modern industries. We also have subject-specific teams here at Stirling as well. So if your students are looking for a job in arts and humanities, if you're looking for a job in sports sciences, social sciences, or the world of business, you book an appointment with one of these ladies here and they can help you. They can really help tailor your CV. They can point you towards subject-specific or career-specific job boards, and they can give a general advice and guidance on the specific industries that our students are looking for. So that is a really unique thing that is not offered at all universities, really specific subject advice. We also give our students access to a platform called Going Global. And this is for students who are maybe wanting a career outside of the UK. It has a jobs board, which also helps you research working in 30 different countries around the world. And if you find a job that you want and you're able to apply for it, it also gives you advice on work permits, visas, the cost of living, cultural interview advice as well. It's a very, very useful tool that we give to our students for free, which can be the difference between them getting a job overseas and not getting a job overseas. So that is included with their tuition fees as well. The employment team also run lots of events around employability. So these include kind of generic things like a company coming in and talking about their industry, but also it involves things like if you've got a specific disability, somebody coming in and talking about disabilities in the workplace and how to overcome particular barriers and how to have discussions with employers about disability. And again, this is a really high value activity that students get for free. We actually have careers events as well, where employers come to campus, and we actually had one of these yesterday, where a range of employers came and they came into our atrium, and students were able to talk to employers about what they're looking for. They were able to hand over business cards and resumes, so that is going to make a big difference to them as well. On the course, we have a range of employment opportunities. So we have our consultancy projects, and this one here relates to some international students who were working with a Windows company. So this Windows company, they created new environmentally friendly windows, but they needed advice and guidance to market these windows. So some of our students came in, they carried out market research, they wrote a competitor analysis, they ran focus groups, and they presented back to this company about the branding opportunities and sales opportunities within their field. And thankfully, the business were actually able to take this advice on board. And from there, they went on to go and promote and sell their windows to customers. Now, this is a great opportunity for students to get real life experience on their resume. So the next time they go to a job interview, they have real life experience to speak of with regards to how they've helped a company. And that is going to be one of the big differences between them getting a job and not getting a job in the future. University of Stirling also has fantastic graduate outcomes. So 91% of international Stirling graduates are in high or medium skilled jobs. 76% of those are in high skilled jobs, 15% are in medium skilled jobs, which means that our students are actually using the skills that they acquired on their degrees in their workplace. 85% of Stirling graduates say that their current activity is meaningful, so that the work that they're doing relates to what they learned on their course. And 71% of graduates also say that they're currently using what they learned in their current workplace. That is against a UK high of 78% for any UK university. So you can see there that when it comes to the usefulness of our degrees, when it comes to people using what they've learned on their degrees in their current workplace, we are very, very competitive against every other UK university. So coming to our conclusions, like we said earlier, lowest cost study plans in the UK, access to 3 of the UK's best cities, but hopefully we've put across how amazing our local job prospects are and how fantastic our degrees and our career services are at all the universities, and how coming to one of our Scottish partners or University of Stirling can really enhance your employability. And I genuinely believe that this is one incredible opportunity for all of our students. As we always like to finish off with our presentations, please, if you want to know more about Stirling, join us on Instagram, where we post on a regular basis about our courses and about what's going on our campus. You can also message us there, and you can ask us any questions. So that concludes the presentation from myself and Michael. We are happy to stay on the line for another few minutes and to answer any questions that you have. But if you need to get back to work, if you need to go, please feel free to do so. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your time. And hopefully you found this presentation useful. But we will stay on the line just for a few more minutes. Excellent. So it looks like there's no questions. So what I will do is I will finish the presentation there. Thank you very much for your time and for attending. And if you do have any questions, we look forward to hearing from you very soon. Take care.
Bye, folks.